Norman, you could tell right away that she was a female.
Yeah, usually by the size.
By
The
size?
size of the birds. The coloration really isn't that much of an issue because there's some birds that have been all white that have turned out to be females. Kay McKeever actually had one in her breeding project, and she introduced it with 6 or 7 females trying to breed it, and it never bred. And then the bird was 32 years old, and it died of West Nile virus a couple of years ago when she had an issue, and it was a huge issue. But when she autopsied the bird, she found that the reason it probably didn't breed was because it was a female, and she thought it was a male.
Oh, interesting.
Females are bigger than the males?
Females in all raptors are usually bigger than the males, more aggressive. Not as quick flying. The males are faster flying with the snowy owls. Although the snowy owls are one of the fastest flying owls, these birds can easily outfly a black duck in flight. And last year out at the airport, I actually photographed a snowy owl taking a peregrine falcon.
Wow. Whoa.
To give you an idea of some of the prey items that they take. Canada geese, brant geese, great blue heron.
Take one to the air one.
No, it's going to be...
Now the last thing we're actually going to do is put a temporary dye on the back of this bird's head so that we can actually see this bird from a distance with a scope. So this red will last about 2.5 to 3 months. And that's how we've been able to track some of these birds already in Massachusetts. We've banded 20 so far this year.
They do that one.
And we had one in New Jersey, and one in Maryland, and 2 in Connecticut that were seen just by the color mark.
Had all the birds been injured?
No.
No, none
These
of
were all
them.
wild. Most of them were wild, healthy birds. We've been banding snowy owls out of Logan Airport since 1981 and have banded 352 snowy owls and put satellite transmitters on them and tracked these birds back to the Arctic. Because the theory was that these birds come to New England because there's no food up north and they're starving to death, and that's why they leave the Arctic tundra. However, we have found that in years when there's lots of snowy owls around, 90% of them are young birds, and they're usually in excellent condition. And it's just the opposite. If it's a great breeding year, which it was last year in the Arctic, both in Baffin Island and in Barrow, Alaska, so there was much more production, so there were more owls to travel further south. So it's just the opposite of what they thought there was. And the information that Alfred Gross had, who was the foremost authority in New England, said that, you know, these birds are not viable breeders, they never make it back to the Arctic. Well, the oldest known snowy owl was when we banded at Logan Airport, and it came back 16 years later. And we also have had 9 birds that have gone back to the Arctic around Baffin Island to breed. And unfortunately, we had 3 snowy owls with transmitters on them that were shot in Massachusetts, which is obviously illegal and something we didn't expect. One was shot at Race Point, one was shot on Levels Island, Boston Harbor Islands, and one was shot in Barnstable. The thing is, when you're handling a bird like this, you can actually tell how much pressure you're putting on the bird's legs, much better without gloves than you can with.
Are you going to...